Hello, drummers. Hello, drummers. And welcome to Tim Connolly Drums live stream. I'm going to try and speak quite loudly because the microphone is here. I tried last time to hook up this microphone along with my Yamaha EAD10. Unfortunately, it did not work. The volume was super low and it was hard to hear me talking. You could hear the drums really well, but you couldn't hear me talking on this mic. So I'm going with the Yamaha EAD10 mic, which isn't the best. My apologies for the speaking audio. I'm going to lean in a little bit to this mic when I am talking as much as I can remember. But today we are doing the Samba. Now, it's going to be a full lesson on the Samba. It's a Brazilian rhythm and how it was, or it has been in basically the 1940s and 50s, adapted from percussion instruments to the drums. Now, I don't really have authentic percussion instruments from Brazil with me currently. However, I do have an explanation on the drum set of sort of what those percussion instruments represent, because different things with percussion instruments represent different things on the drum set. As far as comments and questions go, you know, I will take little breaks throughout, and I will try and accommodate people who have questions and whatnot. But basically, I'm just going to run through the exercise. Okay, so the first part is understanding the sordu, which is basically like a floor tom, but it's a very large drum that's carried in a marching band type situation. So the floor tom sort of represents that, but in reality, like the sordu looks like a floor tom, but it's a very low pitched drum. So in this case, we're going to use the bass drum. And the rhythm is and you'll hear that ostinato rhythm throughout the Samba. You're going to hear this. So that is going to be a common ostinato. Now, the next part is a triangle, sometimes a go-go bells. This is a go-go bells here. So that is sort of played on the side stick. So we've got 2 quarter notes, 3 eighth notes, off beats. So with a hi-hat. Then we've got 2 more quarter notes. So we put it all together, it's 2 on the beat, 3 off the beat, 2 on the beat, 2 bar phrase. Understand, in Brazilian music, and in a lot of Afro-Cuban music as well, everything is felt in these 2 bar phrases, okay? So, okay? Now, we've got on the beat, off the beat. So what I recommend is, I've got this primer exercise, okay? So let's just carry on with the next section, which is the ride cymbal, which is representing the, I believe it's called the tamborim, okay? Now, there's a couple of different ways you can play it. One of the ways that I learned was to play it with a slightly broken pattern. So you're going, Now that actually locks up with the bass and the hi-hat. So locking up with the bass and hi-hat, they really lock in together and become an ostinato. Okay? Thank you very much, Liam, letting me know that the sound is good. That's fantastic. Okay, so that's the first one. The other one is continuous playing. There's not that break, but it's not quite an accent. It's more like I don't even know what you call it, like a swell. It's not really an accent. It goes. Okay. Now, we're going to put that all together, and then I'm going to break down the primers. Now that's a very simple way to play it. Now let's go through these primers. Let's do the quarter note first. So what's happening is, against this ostinato, I'm playing the quarter note on the side stick. Feel it in the cut time, or you can feel it in what would be regular time, but always feel it in 2-bar phrases, okay? All right, so the next part is the upbeat, which gives everybody a hard time when they're learning how to play this groove. Most people can get the quarter notes. They struggle with the upbeat. So the upbeat, just on its own, is going to be... So it's off the beat. And it's going to be landing, obviously, opposite of the hi-hat and on the very first of the 2 Samba bass drums. So when we go, the first of those 2 is the side stick. Okay, so, sorry. So let's add the cymbal. Let's do a bar of each. it all together for this samba pattern. Now you'll notice I'm adding a little extra in there. On the fourth quarter note, or the two quarter notes that happen after the three upbeats, the second of the two, I'm hitting it a little bit louder. Okay, so. All right, now, let's take that and move it around the kit just a little bit. All right, so samba, like all music, is played at various tempos, and a mellower way to play a samba is to play it on the hi-hat. Now, if you're wondering why I keep going over here, it's because there's a talkback mechanism here that I can push to make the microphone a little bit louder for the talking. But it's super loud in my earphone when I'm playing. So I have to keep turning it off when I'm not talking. Okay, so for the drumming samples. Live, and my snare literally fell off the stand here. I'm laughing, but I shouldn't be laughing because hopefully it's not damaged, which it isn't. So, boy, oh boy, these things happen live. That's the beauty of live. Anything can happen, but it's all good. Fixed it up, everything is good. Okay, now, let's talk about what we do when we play a little bit faster. And I also want to talk about what I have right here, which is the samba whistle. All right, so I'm gonna show you the next groove, which is another type of way to play samba, a little bit faster, and we'll incorporate that whistle in there as well. Okay. Now, one of the things that is also you can do is you can add a tambourine for just a little bit of extra sound on your hi-hat, because there's another I can't remember exactly what it's called, but it's a long tambourine that's quite often played in samba music. It's very much like a tambourine, but it's long, and it's got to be about a foot long, and it's rectangular in shape. And I just can't remember the name of it off the top of my head here. So I'm putting this tambourine, once again, in the 1940s and 50s, adapting all these percussion instruments to one person, saving money, because it's expensive to hire 4, 5, 6 guys to play when you can get one guy to do it all. So here we go. I'm going to demonstrate another way to play the samba. For you rock guys, by the way, you'll recognize this when I play it as a very, very famous song from back in the late 70s. So what I'm doing is I'm playing this rhythm. I'll play it on the side stick. Here. Then I'm adapting that to include the floor tom. Add the samba beat. Now that's tiring, let me tell you, playing that, all of that, and combining a whistle in with it, it's very tiring. But if you listen to Brazilian music, the whistle is a big part of it. Now this is actually, just to show you, this is actually a samba whistle, and it's got different sounds. If you play it, obviously I can't do the different sounds and play the drums at the same time, but this one has a number of different pitches. You can do all kinds of different sounds, which is really cool. Now, that's fine if you're just blowing the whistle. If I'm playing, pitch out of it. Obviously I can change rhythms when I'm blowing it, but this is only going to get to one pitch, okay? Now, what's really awesome about this is, if you take a secondary drum and take this off, you can create that sound too. of fun to play. Okay, now for exercises for developing different samba things, I'm just going to play a little bit, then I'm going to show you this exercise to develop more skills with the samba. Good catch. So if you take this book here, so I've got syncopation. Unfortunately, the cover is missing. It's a blue book, Ted Reed, Syncopation. This is an old copy. So turn to page 37, otherwise known as Exercise 1. I believe it's page 38 in the modern version. And what you do is you play your ostinato, cymbal, bass, hi-hat, and you read these figures with your left hand. So you're playing a melody. So it sounds like this. I'll just start with the ostinato and then come in with the figures. So that was the first 12 bars, basically, okay? So you want to be able to have much more ability when you're playing these figures than just the bass pattern, which is, of course, that's your bass pattern. From there, doing all that. So, that is the Brazilian Samba intro. Now understand, please, I'm not Brazilian. I did learn this from some really great drummers, one of whom is Venezuelan, but I originally learned this from my drum teacher when I was in music school. And then I took some lessons with a really great drummer in Toronto nearby me, and we worked on it some more there, and he taught me some little things about the rhythm. But where I really developed it and really got into it was when I went to music school in the US, and there was a fantastic drummer there by the name of Remo, and I encourage everyone to check Remo out. He's Venezuelan, but he's an absolutely brilliant jazz Latin player. And it was him that really refined and explained everything to me about this fantastic rhythm, okay? Now, rock drummers. I'm never going to use this. What's the point? I never need this. That's not true. Always try to think outside of the rock box. Always try and better yourself. The more styles you can play, the more gigs you're going to get. You know, there's nothing more exciting than being at an audition and the band leader says, hey, do you know how to play a samba? And you go, I do. Fantastic. And then you play it and it's awesome. I've had the pleasure of playing sambas in many different types of bands, including Brazilian bands. So where I'm covering all the parts. And like I said, that's a lot of work. There's a lot of coordination involved in developing this rhythm. But stick to it. Please don't give up. Work on the primers. Work on the Ted Reed book. Again, sorry, the cover's missing. It's a blue book, Ted Reed Syncopation, legendary book. Work on the syncopation stuff, and then just work out the feel. And of course, listen to samba music and batucada. I'm probably not pronouncing that correctly, but listen to samba batucada because it has a lot of percussion in it. And like I said, when you listen to samba, you're going to hear a lot of percussion. You're not going to hear a drum set. And you're going to say, well, I don't understand. So you have to be able to listen to it and be able to translate the sordu and the cymbal part and the tambourine part and the clave part and figure it all out. And there's a translation that takes place. I'm hoping that I helped out a little bit today. And as always, people, I want you to keep drumming. This is not easy. This is not easy. So I want you to keep drumming and don't quit. All right? Take care. See ya.